the trick cinematographers use on their exteriors to make their people pop. Hey, my name is Marco Bagnoli, I'm a cinematographer from Germany, and in this Zalando commercial we're looking at today, they used a lot of techniques to make people pop outside. When you're shooting outside, a lot of the time your image looks really flat because you don't have the power or the usage of big lights to create a bit of contrast outside, or you don't know how to do it. After watching this video, you should be able to shoot something like this. So this is the first shot we're looking at, and the first thing you will notice is, damn, he has a lot of contrast for a day exterior shot. So how do you do something like this? First of all, it's 2025, so there's a lot of color grading also happening right here to create a lot of depth into the image. Because when you look at it, the background is really dark for the exposure of the sky, because this sky is probably normally clipped out. This sky should be around 90 IRE, so we get a really white sky. But what a lot of people do nowadays is when you don't clip your highlights and don't clip your blacks, it's very easy to do a depth map in DaVinci Resolve. A depth map tool where you're not really masking out your object. The DaVinci Resolve will scan your footage and you can choose where in the image in a 3D environment to do your color correction with a fade. Most of the time people don't use the fade, I like to do it, but what most people do, and which is a case you should do a lot, is just in post you can mask him perfectly out, he is black, then you have a perfect key for the background, and then you drop the exposure. And as you can see, the sky really put down, probably around 50 IRE or 60. And this is a trend in a lot of modern commercials, where the dynamic range of the shot and the look is really compressed into from 10 to 60 and not from 0 to 100. So we get this flat, soft look most of the time. I think this is a look that works really good for commercials, but it's also a look they use nowadays a lot on movies, and a lot of people are criticizing it because it looks really dull and flat, non-dynamic scenarios. Commercials like this always movement, camera move and location switches, but in a movie sometimes you have 10 minutes just people talking, so this look feels really dull. So how do you can copy this look? You can try it. We have nowadays really powerful LED lights, and with a small light dome mini or 90 and a 600D, someone will hold it with V-mount powered and just blast him off frame. You don't even need a softbox, sometimes it's just enough with a Fresnel and just blast him to the actor. This will create one side of his face really hot, so you have to put your ND or exposure on the camera down, and the whole image overall gets darker, and you get this really cool contrasty look. Here's an example where I did a similar thing just with a 600D straight into the face and a nice poppy look on the day. Also the color grading here is very monochromatic. We have this really desaturated skin tones and background with just a cool tint overall. So we got with the white balance a lot of cooler to get a nice color contrast around the video, because we're switching a lot in a warm scenery and a cold scenery. Here, this is the switch up to the warm scenery, and something a lot of people would do is now just turn your white balance warmer, like in this scene right now, and you get an overall warm image. You don't always have to think about your camera settings. If you look closely, this shot is probably not warm at all. It's pretty neutral with maybe a tick of warm and of green, but this scene feels warm or warmer than the other scene because of the set design. We have this nice orange escalators, we have this wooden walls all around, all the people wearing something like green and reddish tones. All the things happening right here are not something, oh, they showed up with this kinds of clothes. No, they think about it and they use it strategically to make the scene fit into the narrative they want to go. This is a close-up from the scenery, and if you closely look at her and the background, it has the same color. And why is this something special? Because The LED tubes on most buildings are have not good quality. They have a green tint, magenta tint. And the best thing you can do when you're using LED light, the only thing they had probably with them, because they've done a lot of moving, was something like an F22 with a grid dot in to just give a little bit of fill. And the trick is to use your color meter and really match blue lights so that your Aperture has something like white balance 4100 and negative 20 or something like this. When you finally correctly match these kinds of lights on a train station, your footage will look a lot better, because a lot of people just go for the white balance, and so the background is later in a color grading really green, or the skin tones are really magenta. So try to make in public spaces, try color meter, or an easy way to do it is check with your iPhone. There are apps where you can take a picture and do auto white balance, and then you see a roundabout, so where you can put your lights so that you get an even cleaner result at the end of the day. This scene is also really cool because we have here different techniques. We got big frame around here. It's always good to shoot through circles, triangles, squares, because it frames your framing and leads the viewer to look into the right direction. On the train we have a lot of opportunities, but what's also cool is, like I said before, there were different sceneries where one is warm, one is cold, but here they made it into one shot, that you have this cool area here in this train and a warm area outside the train. I think that's an interesting way to connect your two storylines together. This shot is also really cool because we have this movement, we are tracking the person, we have nice extreme acting, and there's sprinklers that shoot down water. In commercials like this, movement is everything. You do not only have the sprinkler on, you have your actor moving, you have your camera moving, and your light is flickering. So try to make these energetic commercials as energetic as possible. Always think about, okay, what are my tools? How can I get a lot more movement in there? Sure, think about the move. Every movement is necessary, but most of the time, more in a commercial like this is better. Don't do it with the editing. Don't make some crazy transitions all the time. Really think about what natural rays like camera movement and lighting to get a little bit more dynamic in. The fisheye look is always another cool trick to give your footage another special shot. I said in many cinematographer breakdowns before, you always need this 1, 2, 3 special shots in your commercials, on your reels, to hook the audience. So that's just not people walking around, okay, there's a product, we're boring. Always work around your theme and your special shot, and then your script will be a lot easier to make. This lighting here also really easy because you have that window on the right side and this lamp on the left side. Always try and find your practicals in a shot to make your shots feel more alive, and then just copy the light you see. And now, okay, we have this cold background, a window, and this warm light. So we give here, maybe with an Asteras, that's enough, a little bit of warm edge light. And here again, maybe with a little bit of softer light, an F22X or also an Aperture with the same color temperature as here. And now we get a nice color contrast when our footage looks realistic and cool at the same time. This is another shot I want to talk about, and always try to keep your highlights. A lot of people said it before, high dynamic range is this what makes your footage look cinematic. It's not, but when you shoot, really try to keep highlights, because you can always boost anything else later up and do denoising. We have very good denoising with DaVinci Resolve AI for a lot of people accessible. So that helps your footage a lot, because it will get noisy. You can't just push this footage 4 stops and expect it to look perfect. No, but we have the technology. Technology will help us to get the nice image that we want. A lot of amateur footage tries to get perfect exposure on the skin on set, but outdoor, that's not the way I think you should do it. Always try to keep your log clean so that you have everything, and then just do the rest in post-production. So if you really enjoyed this video, I really would appreciate a subscription from you. My name is Marco Bagnoli and we see you next time.